Ladies and gentlemen, the American Jury and Bulldog Nation, today's show is sponsored by Crimson Builders. By the way, we're talking remodeling, new construction, commercial real estate, whatever you need. It's right there. Call them, email them. All right, we begin as always with Trump news, although this is kind of funny Trump news. Trump scored a hole-in-one at Mar-a-Lago. How do you like that? He was playing with Ernie Els and some other folks, and of course, doing what Trump does, he liked to brag about it. I think I'd brag about a hole-in-one too. Hunter Biden. You know, ladies and gentlemen, the American Jury and Bulldog Nation, Senator Grassley and Senator Johnson announced yesterday that they have evidence of a $100,000 check going to Hunter Biden from an oligarch. The laptop issue, Justice Department is still moving forward. There was a contributor to Fox News yesterday that says things are closing in on him. You know, this whole Hunter Biden story, ABC, CNN, NBC, and CBS has not even mentioned Hunter Biden's name for over 211 days, I saw. It is truly extraordinary how Hunter Biden has had a hall pass for all criminality, all political embarrassment. It's unbelievable. And it just proves where we are as a society when it comes to the war that we're engaged in with the American Communist 10 and the rest of us. I mean, who would have ever thunk? Who would have ever thunk? Joe Biden, his budget mentions climate 31 times more than border and inflation. He wants to raise taxes on oil drillers. Doesn't that make sense when you got the price of gas? By the way, I spoke to somebody yesterday who was from Great Britain. They said the price there is $8 a gallon right now in Britain. Biden wants to tax the rich. A 20%, he calls it a surcharge tax, on anybody who makes more than or is worth more than $100 million. Like, with all that's going on in the economy, do you think that's a good play? This is a truly amazing story. Karey Burke, who is a division president, I think, of content of Disney, in a Zoom call company-wide, talked about her transgender child and her pansexual child. And they want to make half the Disney characters like this. It is truly extraordinary what they're doing to our kids and this country. I mean, as I like to say, you can't make it up. Meanwhile, you have Ron Perlman calling DeSantis a Nazi pig. I'm running for Kentucky governor, and I'm endorsing DeSantis's bill that he signed, which, by the way, here's what the bill does. For kindergartners through the third grade, it prevents the teaching and instruction relative to gender identity and sexual orientation. I mean, but I said to my team last night, I said, why do they stop at third grade? And it ought to make your head explode to think about, how can people be upset, and why would someone be upset that they're stopping this? Because what it means is these people want kindergartners, first graders, second graders, and third graders inside their school, rather than being taught math and reading and history and everything else, to be taught about and influenced on their gender identity and their sexual identity. That's freaking messed the F up. A school nurse, and I forgot what state, has gotten discharged. She blew the whistle on some kids that were going through puberty blockers and other things without their parents' knowledge. And she got fired. See how it works? She got fired for blowing the whistle by saying she violated their privacy. You see how it works? Those laws are meant to not protect people, but to allow the American Communist 10 to do their dirty work. It's like HIPAA for healthcare workers. It's to prevent healthcare workers from blowing the whistle. The world we live in. I'm going to be a Ron DeSantis for the state of Kentucky. He came out and praised Clarence Thomas as the greatest living justice and pushed back on this issue that he needs to recuse himself on all January 6th cases because his wife tweeted Mark Meadows relative to January 6th. And by the way, folks, they always use the word, words matter. They always use the word overturn the election. Wasn't overturning the election, it was fighting the legality of the election. 1.1 million illegals since Biden took office have poured into this country. 1.1 million illegals. Pelosi is the most unpopular Democrat and politician in America. And she's the Speaker of the House. Americans have great inflation concerns. And did you know this? There's an inflation tax, which means how much it costs the American households. You ready for this? Every one of you, every household, $5,200 for this year. How does a household on a budget, a tight budget, manage finding $5,200 somewhere? The Austin airport, because of the number of flights, says that there's a fuel shortage. Imagine that. United States of America, fuel shortage at an airport now. The FDA has approved a fourth shot for Pfizer and Moderna for those over 50 years old. The collaboration between federal government, big pharma against us just never stops under this administration. A Washington school district says that you're now allowed to consider race in punishment. That's not going to be able to be upheld under the Constitution, but they don't care. Did you hear about Biden's cheat sheet when he went out there and tried to say those 3 gaffes didn't happen? Had it all written out, cheat sheet. Somebody giving it to him. Ukraine peace. The Russians announced that they're pulling back on some military action inside Ukraine. Who knows? I don't want to beat a dead horse because I don't think the horse is dead yet, but I want to bring up the Oscars again. A few things. Adam Sandler sent out his support for Chris Rock. Something that hit me yesterday, and I can't believe I didn't mention it earlier. How weird is it that no one came to Chris Rock's comfort? They went to Will Smith's. Nobody walked up on that stage and said, hey, buddy, you all right? And the other thing is, Chris Rock has not issued a statement. His tour, the tickets are going bonkers. By the way, he's coming to Cincinnati, I think, in June. Chris Rock got assaulted in front of millions of people, humiliated. There's no way somebody doesn't talk to Chris Rock and say, Chris, how much money you want of Will Smith's? I mean, it's there. You don't even have to prove actual damages for an assault. It exists. It is like the greatest lawsuit of all time. Happened in front of 1 million people, clearly, and I think Will Smith deserves it. You know, the more I dwell upon Will Smith getting up there and saying he wants to be a vessel of love, and he never even thanked or apologized to Chris Rock then. And then here's the other thing, that I wonder how Jada likes it now. Look at the jokes going around and the truth going around about Jada and her sexual promiscuity, their weird warped marriage, open marriage, all of that. Look at Jada's shame. The humiliation coming down upon Jada now for what Will Smith did to her is astronomical. Astronomical. NFL overtime rules, they finally changed them to allow both parties to get the football, both teams, but they only do it for the playoffs. At least it's for the playoffs. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. Have a great day.